Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we are going to do something incredibly empowering. We are going to completely demystify the hidden mechanics of money and wealth management. My ultimate goal for our time together is to explain those invisible gears turning behind the scenes of your bank account. We're going to transform you from a passive earner into an active, confident wealth builder. We're going to break down some concepts that might seem a little intimidating at first, but honestly, they are actually quite straightforward once you have them clearly explained. All right, let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for peeling back the layers of the financial system today. First up, we'll look at where your money goes. Second, we'll uncover the banking illusion explained. Third, we'll explore the power of interest. Fourth, we'll tackle inflation and real value. And finally, we'll wrap up with time, the ultimate superpower. Let's start with our first section, where your money goes. Okay, picture this. You've been hustling incredibly hard all month long. You've put in the hours, you did the heavy lifting, and you're expecting a very specific, well-deserved paycheck to hit your account. You grab your phone, pull up your bank app, expecting a nice $2,000 salary deposit. But the number staring back at you is $1,456. It's a pretty stark contrast, right? Where on earth did that missing money go? Well, the immediate answer, of course, is taxes. It's the first major leak in the bucket of wealth creation, and honestly, it catches almost everyone totally off guard when they first enter the workforce. Look, rather than just being frustrated by it, because we've all been there, let's explain it with a quick analogy. Think of taxes as the subscription fee for living in a civilized society. That's literally what it is. That missing chunk from your $2,000 paycheck, it's actively paying for the roads you drive on, the schools in your neighborhood, and, the health inspectors keeping your favorite local food trucks clean and safe. It's just the cost of admission to the society we all share. Now, to actually build wealth, you've got to understand exactly how this subscription fee is collected. There are three primary ways the government takes its slice. First, there's income tax. That hits exactly what you earn from your job. Then there's sales tax, which hits the money as it leaves your wallet when you buy things. And finally, capital gains tax. That one hits the profits your investments make while you sleep. The reality here, the government is always going to take its slice. So the absolute secret to wealth isn't just earning more money. It's effectively managing what's left over after those three taxes have been applied. Which brings us perfectly to our second section, the banking illusion explained. So once you have that leftover money, what do you do with it? You probably put it in a bank. And if you're like most of us, you imagine your money sitting safely inside some giant, impenetrable bank vault, just waiting for you to come back and claim it. But the truth? That money is already gone. Banks aren't storage facilities. They're actually financial matchmakers. They operate on a system called fractional reserve banking. All that means is the bank keeps only a tiny, tiny fraction of your deposit on hand, and they lend out the rest of it. They are putting your money to work for themselves. They pay you a minuscule fraction in interest while they turn around and charge much higher interest to other people. Now, it is for sure safer than keeping cash stuffed under your mattress, but it is absolutely vital to understand that your money isn't just resting in a vault. It's actively working for the bank. Let's actually walk through the exact mechanics of how that works. Step 1. You walk up to the counter and deposit $1,000. Instantly, we move to step 2. The bank keeps a fraction in reserve, let's say $100. And step 3, the bank immediately lends out that remaining $900 to someone else who might be buying a car or putting a down payment on a house. Your single deposit just became the fuel for someone else's loan. And this leads us right into our third section, the power of interest. You might be wondering, why would the bank do all of this matchmaking in the first place? Well, the answer is interest. It's the fundamental driving force behind the entire banking system, and it's exactly how banks make their money, from those loans they just generated using your deposits. So, we need to understand exactly what interest is. Simply put, interest is the rent you pay to use someone else's money. Or, on the flip side, it's the reward you get for lending your money out. It's a two-way street. As you build your financial knowledge, you have a really critical choice to make. You have to decide, is interest going to be your worst enemy, constantly draining your resources, or is it going to be your best, most reliable, unpaid employee working around the clock to build your wealth? To make that choice, you've got to understand the two types of interest. On one hand, we have simple interest. That's just a straightforward flat fee. Easy enough. But on the other hand, we have compound interest. And wow, this is where the real magic or the real danger happens. Compound interest means your interest is earning interest. If you carry a balance on a credit card, compound interest is a massive debt fire. It can cause a small balance to just explode out of control. But if you are investing your money, Compound interest acts like a literal financial cheat code. It duplicates your money over time, accelerating your wealth exponentially. You just have to choose who collects it. Okay, let's shift gears to Section 4, Inflation and Real Value. Even if you manage your taxes perfectly and completely avoid the trap of compound debt, there's still an invisible force you have to contend with. Let me ask you a question, and I'm pretty sure this is going to resonate. Have you ever noticed that prices just keep rising, but your paycheck seems to stay exactly the same? It's such a frustrating reality. You go to the grocery store, and suddenly the exact same basket of food costs noticeably more. That right there is the invisible force eating away at your savings. That force is called inflation. By definition, inflation is the slow, quiet erosion of your money's purchasing power. A $5 bill in your pocket is physically still a $5 bill, sure. But because of inflation, that same piece of paper buys less food, less gas, and less housing today than it did a few years ago. Why does this happen? Well, basically, when everyone has cash and wants the exact same items, businesses simply raise their prices to match the demand. It's a continuous cycle, and it constantly degrades the value of idle cash. So, to truly protect yourself, you have to realize a pretty profound truth. Money itself isn't entirely real. It only has value because society collectively agrees it does. It's just a medium of exchange. So, if you want to make more money and actually outpace inflation, you shouldn't just focus on chasing paper. You need to focus on creating real value for people. Think of tech creators who build tools we use every single day, or doctors who heal us. They generate massive value for society, and society rewards them with money. And that brings us to our final section, time, the ultimate superpower. We've talked about the traps, the taxes, the banking system, and inflation. Now let's explain how you actually win the game. The absolute best way to put your money to work is through investing in real assets. We're talking about stocks, bonds, and real estate. These are vehicles that actively put your money to work for you. By owning a piece of a profitable company through stocks, lending money safely through bonds, or owning physical property, you are acquiring assets that have historically outpaced inflation and harness that magic of compound interest we talked about earlier. This really highlights the ultimate dichotomy of wealth management. You have to make the transition from trading all your hours for a paycheck to training your money to work for you. The secret to wealth isn't necessarily having some massive high-income salary today. Wealth isn't built in days, it's built in decades. It's all about taking small, manageable amounts of money and investing them consistently over a long horizon. Because at the end of the day, time is literally your ultimate superpower. Start early, stay consistent. Small amounts, given enough time to grow, turn into absolute fortunes. Stop just working for your money and start making your money work for you. I really hope this explainer has completely shifted how you view the dollars in your bank account. If you found this breakdown of financial mechanics helpful, please follow us and definitely share this explainer with someone in your life who really needs to hear it. But I want to leave you with one final thought today. If your money is currently just sitting in a checking account, whose wealth is it really building right now? Yours or the bank's? Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.